Welcome back to my channel, fellow gardeners. Today I sit here and I'm thinking about repotting my Rex Begonia. This is a painted leaf begonia. And also what I'd like to do is actually propagate some, which I can give to friends. So we need to look in here and see how much propagation we need to do and show you how to do a water propagation and a soil propagation. And then also divide what is in here because everything is out of control. So my name is Alice and I'm the Red Soul Gardener. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start looking at this begonia. I've had it for so long, and it actually started like this, a small one, and then I put it in a big pot. And the thing about begonias, because they have rhizomes, and these rhizomes just seem to be spreading everywhere. With the result, I liked the bushiness, but then suddenly I realized it's not healthy because everything is competing for the sun. And so what happens, all these stems are so long that I need to repot it again and start from fresh. So I'd like you to join me. Now what I'm going to do here, because everything is so compact, I'm just going to be ruthless. I'm just going to actually literally lift it off the soil. And it really is thick in there. So this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to take my scissors, go in there. I've got that one. And I'm going to continue doing this, another one, until I've more or less emptied the pot. And then I'll explain. Now what happens is that basically I think I did let this one go out of hand, but when you're doing begonias, especially painted begonias, always never have it in such a deep pot, which I did, because the rhizomes like to actually spread. But when you have it in a pot so deep and the rhizomes start going down and then everything gets congested, it's not healthy for this plant. Because first of all that air cannot circulate, and you might even end up having mildew or mealybugs in there because they actually thrive in air that is in a situation where you get no circulation. And also as you water your plant, because there's so many leaves there, what will happen is that begonias don't really, especially this one, doesn't really like to get water on the leaves. And already I can see there is a problem here. There's some sort of pest that is actually on this plant. And could be the start of, I'll have to examine it. But basically, this is the sort of problems that you will get with lack of circulation. I've got even slugs living in here. So it is time to actually separate this plant. And as I continue, basically this rhizome has actually gone under. Where's it? And that's the reason why you should actually have a shallow pot for this plant. So basically, I have removed all the rhizomes, which are this bit, and that's where you get the rooting along here. I've removed the ones which are on the surface, but we still have a lot underground here, like that. And as you see with that rhizome, that's where you get your rooting happening. And then the sprouts of the leaves will jut out. But we can leave that at the moment. I'll just take one or two more. Okay, here's another one. So you get that sort of look. So this is your rhizome, and that's where the leaf pops out. But there's a lot of stuff there, but I think we'll leave it for another day and continue and talk about propagation of your Rex Begonia. So now, as we understand, with our Rex Begonia, this is what happens when you overcrowd it. basically the leaves get scraggy because not so much light goes on it. And then what happens, the little babies don't get the sun because all these big leaves are actually hiding it. So now this actually urges me to start. So what I'm going to do is actually all these lovely long leaves, which you can use for propagation, I'm going to remove it. So I'm going to be left, actually, I'm going to remove that and that. I'm going to start like this. And I have a shallow pot here. Let me put this on the ground, or here. So what I have here is a shallow pot. And this is where I'm going to start my rhizomes. And out of that, I'm going to eventually put them in individual pots like this, and I will actually end up with a lot of flowers. So part of our propagation is actually propagating rhizomes. So what I'm going to do is, just so that we know the space, I'm just going to line them like this so we know exactly how much we can actually fit in here, lying horizontal. And here's a big one. So I'm going to remove these little babies here, the leaves, look at that, suffocating the babies. And anything that looks limp, I'm not dealing with, so I'll just remove that. I'll remove this one, I will remove that one, I'll remove this one, maybe leave this one, just like that. So that's done. Now here's another one. So you can go on and on like this, but in the end, you're guaranteed that since you're rejuvenating the plant by giving it a fresh start, is you will actually gain something in the end. So I'm going to do that. And here, separate these two. So basically what we're saying here is that you can do propagation using the rhizomes, and later I will show you what we'll do with some of these leaf cuttings, because you can propagate them using the leaf. Okay, so basically what we've done is we've emptied our pot, which is this. It has a lot of still rhizomes in there. And our idea is, actually it was overcrowded, the leaves were getting scraggy, the new leaves were not seeing the sun, so they were basically, I am so sure there could be even mildew in there because of lack of circulation. So what we're doing here is rejuvenating the plant by removing all these long leaves and trying to get it to restart again. Just simple, in a shallow pot, because basically this type of begonia likes a shallow pot, otherwise it goes really deep and it doesn't serve you. So here we go, take another one, and we're going to just line them here and later actually transfer it into a pot once it's started rooting and it's stronger. So all these babies will come here. So now that I've done all this, I've lined them here in my pot. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover it with soil. So I've got my soil, which is all nice and organic, and just cover them like that. Just the top. And you don't want, that's the reason why you don't want them in very deep pots, because this happens very quickly as they pop their heads. So here we are. So here I have is my Painted Leaf Begonia Rex Begonia, and this is the way I'm going to propagate it. I've just lined everything and I've just put soil lightly on top to cover the rhizomes, laid the rhizomes horizontally because that's the way they love to move. And once water it, keep it in indirect sun, and all these little leaves will start shooting out, and then I will take them individually and put them into individual pots and have an appearance that will look like that. What I'm going to do now is actually just lightly sprinkle my water, because it is at the top, and this is just to kickstart my propagation, and I will just move it into indirect sun so we don't scorch the babies as they pop their leaves out. And I think within 10 days I should have at least a few babies sprouting out. So that is a simple propagation of your Rex Begonia painted leaf. Now what I did, let me put this one aside. What I did, because I do propagate them and I love using them in my bathrooms and in my kitchen, I sort of put them everywhere, is again, I started off with this Rex Begonia here and did the same thing. And as you see, the babies have started putting their heads out, and it's just simply putting it in a shallow bowl. Well, this is a recycled plastic, but then as they get a bit of what you call moisture and a bit of sun, indirect sun, they do start sprouting out quite quickly. And this could be about maybe about 10 days old, and it's already started sprinkling, showing its little babies. And again, what happened is when I do that, I actually then put it in a pot like this, and again you get your babies. And again, this is a longer rhizome, and look at that, it's so beautiful. And I think it may need a bit more sun, because I did have it in the kitchen, but to get that lovely lime green color. Now that is one method of propagation, and we had done the tiger paw, which is similar, and which we'll add onto this this episode, and we did exactly that. So what you do, another method of propagation, and we have so many leaves, another method is to actually use these leaves and propagate them, because all you need to do is you take your scissors, snip it, and just soak it like that. And then what happens is that you will get rooting, and once you do get rooting, you can actually, enough rooting, you can actually then introduce it into soil, and there you are, and then it'll start growing as a baby. And then it'll start growing, and in the end you can introduce it to the soil. So we have here a soil propagation, a water propagation, and we will see the result of this and post it on this episode. So fellow gardeners, here we are with a water propagation, and we will post it once I do start getting rooting. And here we are, what we've done is actually saved my Painted Leaf Begonia, my Rex Begonia, because it was getting so overcrowded and we had to remove it out of that pot. And now we have it here lying vertically, which the rhizome likes better than going under. And I do have a lot of rooting in here, which I will also pull out and put it in pots. And actually I will have a lot of begonias, but we will post it, and so you can have a look. So thank you so much, and don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to press that notification button, and also subscribe to our channel. I do love it when I do get new subscribers, and also getting comments from you. And don't forget, we are on Instagram. Do leave your comments there. We are on Facebook. Do leave a comment there. We post regularly. I put a lot of stuff out on Instagram. And do send me a message on YouTube. I'm always there to answer. And if you do have a problem, please do share it. Maybe I can come up with something that will help you rejuvenate your plant. So thank you so much, and happy gardening. And I will give you the result of my painted leaf begonia. Bye, happy gardening.